My name is Judd Ellis. I'm a full-time men's fitness coach, and I'm gonna bust 10 fitness myths in the next 10 minutes. First up, carbs and sugar make you fat. Absolutely false, because at the end of the day, the only thing that matters for your scale weight is calorie balance. If you use 2,000 calories on a daily basis just to survive, if you eat 1,500 calories, you're going to lose weight. If you eat 2,500 calories, you're going to gain weight, regardless of what type of food actually makes up those calories. So in that example, you could eat 1,500 calories worth of donuts every day and still lose weight. Now, the problem is, if you're eating a diet that is high in sugars or ultra processed foods, it's gonna be way easier to overeat. You're not gonna feel as full. They're ultra palatable. And so the likelihood that you actually stick with it and feel good about yourself and have good overall health outside of that by eating a diet of 1,500 calories worth of donuts every day is gonna be really low. Next up, protein is everything. So if you go to any supermarket right now, you're gonna see everything is labeled as protein. You have protein oats and pancakes and protein cereal and donuts and whatever. I'm on a donut kick today. But at the end of the day, most of these are just a marketing ploy. Protein is super important. And yes, you should be eating enough protein if you're trying to lose weight, but just because something says protein on it doesn't necessarily mean it's a healthy option. You gotta make sure that it is not gonna make you go over on your calories if you're trying to lose weight. One thing that I will look for if I'm choosing a protein snack is what I call the protein to calorie ratio. You're gonna wanna look at the nutrition label and see that protein and calories, I aim for what I call a 1 to 10 protein to calorie ratio. So if it has 100 calories, you want it to have at least 10 grams of protein. This is super helpful with protein bars, protein shakes. Anything that says protein, you should probably distrust it and verify that protein to calorie ratio before deciding if it is a good fit for your fat loss goals. Next up, running is a great way to lose weight. Running is wonderful. I love running. I run marathons, I enjoy it, but not as a weight loss mechanism. Again, 80% of your weight loss is going to come from diet changes. Beyond that, if you want to retain muscle while you lose fat, make sure that you are training and weight training with progressive overload from one week to the next. Running can be a great add-on. It can be a great way to build up your cardio health. It can be a great way to improve your endurance. It can be great for the mental benefits, the emotional benefits, but the old saying is true, you can't outwork a bad diet. Anecdotally, when I was training for a previous marathon, I ran 10 miles a day for 3 months. Sounds crazy, I know, I did it. I actually gained weight during that time. So do with that what you will. My diet was not dialed in, and that was the problem. A lot of people use running as a cover-up for a bad diet. Next up is the idea that you have to eat clean. Now, first of all, what does that even mean? If you're saying I gotta eat clean, are you literally just saying I gotta eat single ingredient foods? Because that's not always practical. And honestly, it's not even necessary if your goal is weight loss. This is where I think it's important to actually define what your goal is. Because if you're trying to lose weight, there are a lot of more processed foods out there that can be helpful. Protein shakes, for example. I use carb balanced tortillas that give me the option of eating a pretty filling meal for not a lot of calories. And so, I mean, at the end of the day, you have to define what does that actually mean, eating clean? I think a better definition is looking at what your actual goal is. If it is to lose weight, build muscle, perform well in a sport, running, whatever, and eat in line with that. You need to fuel yourself. You need to have enough protein. You need to eat a calorie amount that supports the goal that you're working towards. And that doesn't always necessarily mean only whole foods. Next up is the idea that you can spot reduce fat. I'm not gonna need a full minute for this one. This one's completely false. You cannot spot reduce belly fat or fat in any part of your body. If you wanna get rid of those tricky areas, you just gotta eat in a calorie deficit for long enough. Your body will eventually drop off that fat. Ooh, diet sodas are bad. I'm gonna die on a hill on this one. I drink a lot of diet sodas, and for one reason only. The amount of artificial sweetener, aspartame, sucralose, whatever, that you would have to consume to actually negatively impact your health over the long run is absurd. We're not even getting close to that. Is it worse for me to carry around an extra 30 pounds because I eat snacks throughout the day? Or would it be worse for me to replace those snacks with a 0-calorie drink that helps me to stay in my calorie deficit? There is a much bigger net positive if you can eat fewer high-calorie snacks, swap it out for a 0-calorie soda. I think they are absolutely goated. Next up is I can't eat out. If you can make all of your meals at home, amazing, great, props to you. But I've got young kids, we've got a busy schedule. At some point in the week, we're gonna have to eat out. We're gonna go on travel, go on vacations. At the end of the day, you're going to have to make a better choice. And we actually live in a very conducive world to those kind of goals if you know where to look. There are a lot of options out there that can give you meals focused on lean protein, veggies, meals that you can control your portion size really well. Stuff like Chipotle bowls, amazing. You just need to know where to look. With that said, They're also more indulgent eating out meals like a burger or pizza. Can you fit that into your plan? Absolutely. To be fair, the people who do know how to fit that into their plan are the ones who are going to stick with that plan for the long run. Doesn't mean you eat it every single day, but if you know where to look and how to fit a more indulgent meal into your plan, you're golden. Next myth, you can trust your fitness tracker. We all wear some kind of version of this, Apple Watch, Garmin, Fitbit, whatever. I'm just gonna come out and tell you that their calorie estimates on here are trash. You really shouldn't use them as a hard and fast analysis of how many calories you burned in that day. You can use them to like see a trend over time and see that, hey, I'm getting more activity than maybe I did before, but if you look at your watch and it says you burned 1,000 calories, I'd take that with a grain of salt. The other thing is if you're trying to eat in a calorie deficit and lose weight and you calculate out a total daily energy expenditure, like your total amount of calories for the day, that will usually include some kind of activity multiplier that accounts for the activity you do in the day. You shouldn't go and adjust the amount of food you eat by looking at the number on your watch and saying, wow, I burned 500 calories in that workout, so I can go eat another 500 calories. It just doesn't work like that. Next up, hunger is bad. Hunger is a signal in your body. And at the end of the day, you're going to feel hungry. It's what you do about that hunger that actually matters. And so if you're trying to lose weight, being able to manage hunger and recognize when your hunger is physical versus emotional is a superpower. Because a lot of the time outside of your normal meals, assuming that you eat and get enough protein, you drink enough water, a lot of that hunger that you feel outside of meals comes from emotional needs that have to be met. That can be anxiety, stress, boredom, fatigue, whatever, even positive emotions. But if you learn how to recognize that difference and sit in that discomfort, but also be able to find other outlets other than food that help you to address that hunger, you're gonna be great. But recognize you're gonna be hungry. That's not a bad thing. It's gonna be okay. And finally is the idea that weight gain equals fat gain. Now tell me if you've been there. If you've ever been trying to lose weight and you step on the scale and from one day to the next, all of a sudden it looks like you gained 5 pounds, it's not always fat. Usually it actually isn't. If you gain a lot of weight over a long period of time, that's something you should watch for. But from one day to the next, your body weight is going to fluctuate anywhere from 1 to 5 pounds just from water weight, glycogen stores, depending on the amount of carbs you ate the day before and how hard you worked out before, your activity levels, the amount of sodium you consumed the day before, your stress, how much rest you got. There's so many factors that play into your weight on the scale that go way beyond fat. So the next time you're trying to lose weight and the scale kind of pops up, stay the course, don't adjust anything, stay with the exact same plan, assuming you've been sticking with it, that scale will correct itself. You'll be fine. Now that's it. Fitness can seem complicated, but I make a point in this channel to break it down simply and easily based on evidence, based on the stuff that I'm observing from me and my own clients and our experience. So go hit like and subscribe if you want more of this.